On the mound here for the Monkeys is the big lefty, Ryan Carpenter. Now, this is his first season with the Monkeys, but he's coming in here with a lot of professional experience, right, Richard?
Yeah, definitely. He was originally drafted in 2008 by the Tampa Bay Rays. Interestingly, in CPBL, usually they have a lot of foreign pitchers who may have experiences in Asian leagues, whether it's been in Japan or Korea. But Ryan Carpenter coming to Taiwan without any experience playing in Asia before. Batting third is Lin Anke, the designated hitter.
Interesting story here with Lin Anke. He came into the league possibly as a pitcher,
yes,
or a field player, but this year they've decided to go with him just as a field player instead of a pitcher. Now it's quite interesting because as Carpenter deals here,
a grounded to the second baseman headed, and then throw to the first. Carpenter has a very easy 1-2-3 out for the first inning
for the Lions. And actually, in their last game, the defense looked all right, Richard.
Yeah, and that is also one of the most important reasons that they were able to prevail after they were struck out 18 times in the game against China Trust Brothers.
I wish we could get a number on that. 18 times in one game seems like a record.
I will double check on that later.
Maybe we could get the guys in the booth to help us out with that.
Sure.
Okay, a little bit about our pitcher here. 17 years he has spent in the CPBL. That's a lot of miles on those legs.
Yeah, definitely. He's one of the most famous workhorse here in this league in Taiwan. And as a native of Pingdong, his professional career may span over 17 years, but his career with the national team actually spent even longer, to 22 years, because he started to be a national team member since he was 14. And then the last national team uniform that he wore was 2017 WBC. In between, there were 22 years of service to the nation.
He actually has in his career, as we see one hit quite deep to center field, but it's tracked well. Again, we see some warning track power, but nothing to be too scared about. So back to Pan, the pitcher. One funny story about him is that he almost pitched a perfect game.
Oh yeah, definitely. That was back in 2008.
But he missed the perfect game because of an error by his first baseman, Gao Guoqing,
yes,
who is actually still on the team, and he's the DH for the team today, right?
Yes, definitely. That was one of the most talked about among those, because in Taiwan there are only that many perfect games, and there are only that many no-hit games. There was only one perfect game, and then Taiwan was so close to it. Actually, the error actually occurred in the first batter of the game. So Gao Guoqing, after the game, he was very, very upset about himself.
Well, after 15, 16, 17 years together, I'm sure they're over it, Richard.
Yep.
One of my really good friends, Richard, just asked me, why are the cut boards and cutouts wearing face masks? It's a good question, but I think, you know, since Taiwan's doing so well with this COVID-19 and the control and all these things, I think we're just trying to promote that wearing a face mask is a cool thing to do.
Yeah, sure. If you look at in this stadium in Taiwan International Baseball Stadium, right behind the home plate, there is a little plant-like this is a grounder to the shortstop, and it's thrown to the second. So we were saying that masks are everywhere here in Taiwan, and because of that, we were able to open the season, because the government acted very quickly and responded swiftly to close the borders soon enough to protect everybody here in Taiwan.
Smooth play by the shortstop, Chen Jixie there.
Yes. The batting champ last season, Lin Li. He was batting .389 last season. As a matter of fact.
That's a bit of a special name, right?
Yes.
You know, typically, for those of you who don't know much about the Chinese language, typically people have three names, with their last name going first, and then there are other names going second and third. So when you see a name like Lin Li, to us, it looks a little bit special.
Yeah. But it's probably a bit easier to pronounce.
Anything with a Li or a Lin for us makes it much easier. But you know what, the tones of the Chinese language always kill us.
There are too many Chen and Chang.
There's a lot of Cheds on this team, that's
Yes.
for sure. Starter in that game.
Yeah.
Here he goes, the shot to the gap. It's going to get to the ground. And we'll mark that up as, our first hit of the day as the center fielder bobbles it a little bit on the dry field out there. No excuses for that.
Well, I believe the club should have this baseball retrieved as this is the first hit ever with the Rakuten Monkeys.
And it's only fitting that last year's champ would get the hit.
Sure.
Here too, if he does. He's got some mad power to left field. So there's a car out there in left field, Richard. What can we tell the fans what the deal is with the car?
Oh, sure, that's from the sponsor. And if the Monkeys player hit it, you get the car. But not the broken car, not the broken glasses car. I remember that the other day, I think it was for the originally scheduled opening day during the batting practice, somebody just smashed the windshield of the car.
So who pays for that?
I believe the car dealer would.
I'm not sure the car dealer gets a good deal in that situation.
Well, many years ago, we had another car dealer sponsoring the Taiwan series. And there was a game for the fans to guess that how many baseball can be put into the car. And if you guess it right, you get the car. And at the end of the Taiwan series, actually, 3 fans guessed it right.
Like the exact number.
The exact number, yeah.
Yeah.
We had to draw because we only have 1 card to give up.
Well, they should give 3 cards if they're going to play that game, I think. I mean, I don't know about the credibility of fitting all the baseballs in the car.
We had a lawyer there.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow, so it was quite objective.
Yeah, we did it overnight. Swing and miss, and Chen Yunshe was struck out. There's the third out of
like this. It's basically just all out music all the time.
Yes.
The more music, the better, and it pumps up the team. Even when you're batting or you're pitching, it doesn't really matter.
Sure, and you can just imagine this with the music, and if we have a full house of fans there, this will be a very loud place to watch baseball.
You know, it's interesting that one of the things that people asked me was the major difference between the CPBL and major leagues. Back home, we have a tendency to get personal with the players if they make mistakes. Can I say that? You know, we like to yell at the players. Ooh, it's hit on a rope. That's trouble. Ooh.
Oh, Chen Wei was actually in a very good position. He only moved maybe like less than 10 feet to catch the ball for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, they're not orthodox with that catch in right field, but sometimes when those balls are hit on the button like that, they're hard to get a beat on. So back to my story. When I was one of my first games that I came to in Taiwan, there was a foreign pitcher in the bullpen, and he was on the opposing team. So we decided to have a few words with him and some banter, but right away the local authorities let us know that that is not the way that baseball's run in Taiwan, and if we were to continue our banter, that we would be asked to leave the stadium.
So you were approached by the uniform personnel.
Yeah, I guess we could keep it at that. The uniform personnel asked me to keep quiet, asked us to keep quiet, I suppose we could say. But again, this is just one of those nuances, one of those things we didn't know.
Yeah, so well, that's different baseball cultures here and there. And I still remember that when I was in Boston, I went to Fenway Park for the games, and then people weren't, like, many of them weren't really paying attention to the game. They were just chatting and laughing and having peanuts and hot dogs and everything. But here in Taiwan, all the fans, they sing, they jump, and they really pay attention to the game.
Well, you know, and you get those, it's almost like I'm at a loss for words, those beaters, those sticks, those,
Yep.
They almost look like empty megaphones that everyone gets, and they're not quite as bad as the vuvuzelas were for the World Cup, but they're interesting, I suppose. And I think there's a lot of different opinions when it comes to the sounds of those particular beaters.
Yeah, some people like to, you know, watch the game just by yourself and a little bit quiet.
The plate, it's going over the fence.
Sure.
Absolute cannon from Lee Hong-yu behind the plate, and there wasn't a chance down there at second base. They had him nailed halfway between first and second. See you later, and we will see you later. another thing the fans were wondering about is the cheerleaders. You know, every team has their own specific name for the cheerleaders, correct? And
yes.
It's quite different than it is in the MLB.
You don't see the girls jumping and dancing in front of you in any of the MLB stadiums.
No, and they actually do a really good job, and it's actually a job that's a pretty good job to have for them, as they're very good entertainers, they're very good dancers, and they do an excellent job of pumping up the fans. Sure.
And that's why the seat in front of the girls' dancing area is the most expensive ones. Not the one behind the home plate. The one in front of the girls are the most expensive seats.
Quite different than it is back home in North America. That's for sure.
With the lead-up double, William is on second, and now batting is Drusha, the designated hitter, who also hit 347 last year with 30 home runs.
It's interesting that you say designated hitter. For those of you who haven't noticed already, the pitching spot in the CPBL does not hit. There's no special time when it does hit. It's DH all the time. The pitchers never hit in this league.
Just like the American League. Grounder to the second, throw to the first for the first out.
I think that was just simple baseball there. A good piece of hitting, advance the runner to third.
This one squeezed, the first one couldn't get in, throw to the pitcher. It was in time.
He had his tap dancing shoes on over there at first base. He shimmied to the left and then he shimmied to the right and forgot to pick up the ball.
And we hope that he's not hurt anyways.
Forms, Richard.
Oh, I like it this one.
And there's a ball. Back. There she goes. She's out of here. Whammy. Home run for Lan Yinlun. The first home run for the Rakuten Monkeys here in Taoyuan. Put it on the board, they say, Richard.
And he is batted ninth. Speaking of that, as we said earlier, that today, among the 9 hitters, there were 7 of them batting over 300 last year.
He absolutely tattooed that to right center. That was gone off the bat.
Well, definitely. A lot of times we will have a 9-8 game or 7-5 game at the end of the time.
I believe the articles were talking about the league averaged about 10 runs a game last year. But that's not to say that we couldn't have a 15-14 game or a 2-1 game. As we see another ball driven deep to center field. Back, it's gone! A home run for number 65, Chen Junyu. Absolutely smoked to the deepest part of the ballpark, 400 feet or more.
Well, in his first plate appearance this season, he had this solo home run to be on the book. This one definitely he cut Carpenter's a little bit elevated fastball.
I think one of these days they're going to listen to me about that fastball.
A special rule here in Taiwan's CPBL is that we play the maximum of 12 innings.
12 innings?
Yes. If it still gets tied at the end of 12 innings, then we'll call it a night.
Ching's been in this league for a long time too.
Yeah, about 17 years or something. He batted 269 last year with 5 home runs.
Yeah, if we look through the average age of the Lions starting lineup, I don't know, Richard, maybe me and you could get in there.
I can't run for sure. Corner to the short. Third to first to the second out.
Fouled way back to the upper deck. Now, usually we would see 6 or 7 fans run after that one.
Yep.
Maybe 1 or 2 of them trip and fall. not hurt themselves, of course, but fans really love to get those balls here just as much as they do everywhere around the world.
Well, but be really careful when you're at a stadium and running around, because my wife, who was a nurse in the stadium, once treated a little boy who was running to catch a foul ball and then got his bones broken.
Well, at least it's a story to tell as he grows up, right? You know? As we see one absolutely crushed to left field. Back. I hate to see you go, but I love to see you fly away. Home run, Lin. Sorry, pardon me, Tenchi.
Wow, this home run is also the 900th home run in this stadium. A towering shot to the left. His first home run of the season.
Every home run that's left the field tonight has been absolutely tattooed.
Choice. It was the 1500th home run.
From second. Great jump over there on first base by Lin Li. He stole that base at first base. What an absolute jump he had on that.
Oh, after giving up a home run now.
Oh, yeah, wow. The laser to left field. Here comes the throw to home plate. It's got to be cut off by the first baseman, as he had absolutely no chance at getting Lin Li, who's coming in from second base there. Put one more on the board. That's 4-1 Monkeys in the.
大家也可以一起来现场跟我们 Rakuten， yeah！
For those of you who don't understand Chinese, they basically said that Richard and I are very, very handsome, and that we might be the two most handsome men in this building. Right, Richard?
Yeah, exactly. That's
right?
like what they say.
Okay.
And they invited us to go down there for the new seating area. Whoa! Comebacker! Directly back to the glove of Carpenter.
Great reactions. Now that might have been more of a life and death reaction than it was, again, an out reaction. Absolutely.
Well, we gotta go exit.
That's also a good subject to touch on there. The new seating area is well, there's no one sitting in it yet, but this is the first year, right?
Yes.
For this special seating area down the right field and left field line. Because if you look down the left field, if you can see down the left field line, the seats are already ready.
Yes.
But right field, I guess we'll just wait till we can have fans to put some inside. There's no point really putting chairs in there if we can't put any people in them.
Still Carpenter. Whoa!
Ball's well hit to second, well hit to left field, but you're going to see him take second on this one. Absolutely no problem. Get that ball in, get your cutoff. Let's move on to the next batter.
Yeah, the ball dropped between the two fielders.
But there are 4 imports allowed on each team, but only as you see another ball tattooed to deep center field. Run down and dropped by the center fielder as he got there and made a great effort, but just couldn't haul the ball in. Tough catch for the center fielder out there, but when you get there, you gotta get it. Come on and help your pitcher out there, Mr. Zun.
Well, I would say that's pretty much a difference between the current center fielder and the one that we miss, who is in Japan right now.
Is that he's going back on the ball. He's got a beat on the ball. He's right there, but then at the last second, he slows down instead of keeping on running. If he kept running, he runs straight through that ball and he makes that catch. But he decided to, right here, a couple of little jump steps and then a jump, and he's all off kilter. And he's never going to make that catch when he slows down there. But that's a catch that Wang Borong probably does make it.
I would think so, yeah. And I think that's what and there's a different thing between the Taiwanese baseball and Major League Baseball is that we do not have the 7th inning stretch here, because we have it earlier. We have it after the 5th inning. That's the time that we use to drag the field to make the field more flat and more comfortable for everyone to start the 6th inning.
As you see, the shortstop 10 lines 1 to second baseman for the easy 4-3
It's a little like shorter version of the big fix. And then you do it in the 3rd inning, you do it in the 6th inning. And then the 7th inning is reserved for the fans to, have fun, to sing "Take Me Out of the Ball Game." But here we don't really sing the song, and today we certainly don't have anybody here who can sing with us.
Well, we have a microphone and a speaker system. Maybe you and I could do a rendition.
Sure
we could try the rendition of it.
I'm not sure if any one of you is listening out there want to hear us sing.
For those of you who know me, of course you want to hear me sing, of course.
Since this is the first game. Ground ball to the shortstop. Wow!
Pulled Chen Junxiu just off.
Was able to play so many games last year because the Lions were suffering from so many injuries last year.
And so many losses.
Yes.
They always seem to have a little bit of hope in the beginning of every season, and then when you look at the numbers, they were the only team below 500 last year at the end of the season, and they were very, very far below 500, maybe 40 and 70 something. I don't really know the record off the top, but the other 3 teams had great records, and the Lions seemed to fall behind at the end of the second part of the season, which I guess we could also talk about how the season is split into 2 halves as well. That's right, Richard?
Sure. For each team that play 120 games every season, it's split to 2 half seasons. So each team plays 60 games.
And then there's a winner for the first half of the season, and then a winner for the second half of the season, and then they play in the Taiwan series.
Yeah, and sometimes we will have a playoff series because sometimes we have the same team that winning the first half and the second half. So when we calculate the overall standings, number 2 can play number 3 in the playoff series. Whoever wins that will go challenge the overall winning team of the season.
So if you're not 1 and you're not 2 and you're not 3 in a 4-team league, you might be quite upset. No, I like the Lions. I've always liked the Lions. I wish them well. I hope they have a good season this year, and they're off to a good start. And we'll see what happens with the outcome of this game. You see the runner take off for second base, and there's absolutely no throw. Green Hongyu looks like he's trying to get a little bit of a call for maybe some hitter interference at the plate there, but you're never going to get that call here. No way. He stood his ground in the box.
To be on the scoring position. This one, a high fly ball to the right. It doesn't go anywhere.
Get your runner to tag from second to third, and he gets over there pretty easily. That will happen if you don't agree with the call. There you go, pass ball. Here comes the runner in to score. We got a 4-3 game. The song, Chen Junxiu's song as he steps into the plate, and if you can hear it, if you can actually listen to it, you can hear it. They say Chen Junxiu, something along those lines, right?
Yep.
Again, I'm not going to do all my singing at once because if I do, I'll probably be getting too many wonderful emails. That's for sure. But
we do hope that by the end of this season, during our broadcast, we'll be able to show everybody the singing from the fans on the stands. Those are really, really wonderful because during these songs that the lyrics they'll be saying the name for the fans to yell out, and then when 10,000 people or even 6,000 people, 5,000 people yelling the same name, that feels really good, especially for the player.
Yeah, it's almost like play the music, stop, then they say his name, right? But Richard, I'm also getting the feeling you don't want to hear me sing either.
No, go ahead.
If you've heard me sing once, you probably won't want to hear me sing again. So
this one, a towering shot to the center field. Who's gonna get it? The left fielder Su Zhijie came up to get it for the first out of the inning. Again, wait until us going down there.
Tattoo line, deep left center, deep left center, it's out of here! Whammy! Home run for Guo Yen to left field, hit on a frozen rope. That ball was out of here from the smack of the bat.
Wow, Boyum went 3 for 3 today, and he's just one triple shy from a hit for cycle. Will we have the opportunity to see this? Wow, we have 3 more innings to go. He had a double in the second inning, he had a single in the third, and now he's got his home run of the night. Let's see if he can have a triple.
He squared up every ball tonight. He's hit every ball. And he said, you know what, that was an Apo Taco. He hit that one to opposite field. That was on a line. Wow. He is on it tonight. And then we see another one shot to right and absolute laser beam. Back-to-back jacks to Yu Xian and Guo Yunwen. Double it up in the bottom of the 6th. Whammy, whammy.
Zhu Yuxian, who hit 30 home runs last season, has had his first home run of the season right now. Wow, we have 5 home runs today already.
Can we go back to back to back? Oh, here comes the call to the bullpen. I wonder why.
Wow, they're just really gonna in their lineup. Oh, let's see. Shortstop headed tag. Wow, it's a safe situation. Nobody was out.
Not sure what we're thinking there. Taiwan baseball is not small ball baseball.
It is not.
They don't play They don't play small ball here in Taiwan. It's more so Japanese baseball. As he lays one down, the third base line there. Great play by the third baseman Lin. Get the ball over there, stop the runner, and great bunt to advance the runners. But yes, back to my point. Sometimes people think that in Taiwan they play a lot of small ball, but they don't play small ball here in Taiwan. Small ball is more Japanese, would you say?
Well, the thing is that, well, basically speaking, I mean, if you look at the history of Taiwanese baseball, it was introduced by Japanese during the colonial time. And especially in the very beginning, I'll say the first 10 years of the Pro Bowl here, from 1990 to maybe to 2000, a lot of small balls were played here. But since then, we get more and more information, or we have the minor league coming back, or even Major League Baseball players coming back from the States and then join the league here, and we have more American coaches join the league here. We're not that Japanese baseball anymore, and it has gradually becoming a combination of American style baseball and Japanese style baseball, and it also depends on the coaches, because if you go to those high school games or those junior high school games, you see a lot of old coaches, and they do have, if you look at their conversation, you listen to their conversation, a lot of technical terms are Japanese.
Between him and Ling Hongyu behind the plate.
Wow! A cold third strike.
Beautiful. Lined up the middle. That's going to score a couple. Here comes the throw from the center fielder. Going to be a close play at the plate, and he's in there safe. A 2-run single by Chen Jie-xian to get his team right back in the game. I like how we were both together on that single there. That was
Because we were looking for
that was really good. Base hit up the middle. We're going to score 1. That makes it 7-5. Monkeys. Wonderful piece of hitting by Zhu Yuxian. Just taking that ball, going straight back up the middle with it, taking the pitch he was dealt, and then dealing it right back up the middle.
But again, this is just the first game of the season. Wow, this is the first pitch.
Back, and it's up there, and she's out of here. An absolute monster bomb by the third baseman, Chen Yu-ji. Wow, Richard, he smashed that one.
The veteran went 4 for 4 today. A home run, a double, and a pair of singles. Chen Yu-ji had 11 home runs last year.
Lions. We see a little bit of a cool celebration in the dugout of the Lions. We're pretty stoked. I don't know what that was actually, but camaraderie, I suppose.
Yeah, well, only under this kind of situation where there's nobody on the stand that we can hear the...
And we got another one! We're going back-to-back times today! Gone deep to left center. Winnie for number 28, Tenkai Wen. An absolute laser beam as well. So we go back-to-back on both sides of the field today, Richard.
Wow, after strike out two consecutive batters, now he gave up the back-to-back home runs. Now we have a tie game on the top of the 8th.
Like we said earlier, this game could end 12-11.
Wow. Zheng Kai-wen. Wow, the third baseman step in and throw it to the first base. It's a save. Ah, his foot was not on the base.
Looks like he made a great play to knock it down. He made a great play to throw it over. First baseman made a great pick, but did he get pulled off the base a little bit?
It could be, and I think the Lions are going to challenge that. And to this, wow, it's an out.
Again, from our angle up here, Richard, it looked like he was out, but it's tough to say. He made an unbelievable pick of that ball. I mean, it can go either way, but balls in the
from
glove.
This angle, it's clear that.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at where the ball is in the glove as he makes the pick, good stretch, good pick.
This one isn't that combo because when the foot is out, you don't see where the ball is. That's not the way to. Wow, this one. Didn't go far. The shortstop had it for the third out of the inning. Now we have 9 complete innings, and the game is still tied at 7 apiece. We'll be right back for the 10th inning.
Been in the league for quite some time.
Oh yeah, and he did bunt. One to third. Wow, the third baseman just dropped it while he was trying to pick it up.
Just
Lin Lee, who had a very good night on the batting side.
lost concentration and boofed it. Slow roller to third base. And I think with that, we might get a pitching change. We'll see.
Comparing to all other...
Poking to the outfield, and it might change things as well here. Oh.
Wow!
And speaking of little pokes to the outfield, Pan steps up and delivers.
Now the Monkeys are entering their bottom of the lineup, but their bottom of the lineup could be anybody else for top of the lineup, or even the center of the lineup.
It could be the leadoff, it could be the meat, it could be the ending as well.
Yeah. Among number 7, number 8, and number 9 batters, there are 2 home runs today.
And a lot of very hard hit balls.
True. Well, but in this case, we actually saw 2 sets of back-to-back home runs.
Also another record I would like to check out in the truck if we could.
One of all his better pitches to try to seduce the batter to swing. Whoa!
Back, it's up and she's got to Yushin. And we're 8-8, Richard. Looks like we're gonna keep on going.
This is only the first batter of the inning. This is his second home run of the day.
Absolutely crushed it. No doubter. It was a no doubter off the bat.
Zhu Yushen crushed his second home run of the night after a 1-2 count. I thought Chen Wingwen should have waited a little bit to try to seduce him a little bit more. It's a double play! Wow! The first home opening game here for the Rakuten Monkeys. We will go to the 11th innings. Yeah.
Have to. And there we have it, folks. We head to the bottom of the 11th. 8-8 tie. Weekday at 11:30. You have to be a pretty hard. There's a ball that's hit to the gap. And the gap is closed very, very quickly by the left fielder, Su Zhijie. And off we go. 8 hit.
2-2. This one goes to the first. Make sure that the man on the third would not risk to go back to the home plate.
That's a great play. Chen Zhou's in the right spot.
We will. It's either now or later. A high fly, but it's not going anywhere. The shortstop heading for the third out of the inning. And now we are going to the bottom of the 12th. It will definitely be the last half inning of tonight's baseball game. We'll be right back after this.
And there we go, folks! Cinderella dancing tonight. Game over. Walk-off home run. Zhu Yushen, the third home run of the night.
On the opening night of the Rakuten Monkeys baseball of the season 2020, Zhu Yushen had 3 solo home runs, and these solo home runs, the final one, sent them to the first victory of the franchise history as they become Rakuten Monkeys from the last December.
Was that too easy?
It looked like it is.
And I think he hit it out of the stadium.
Tonight we have actually witnessed 9 home runs in this opening game, the home opening game of the Rakuten Monkeys.
Wow, what an exciting end, Richard, to an exciting game.
Sure.
The bottom of the